We're here with Iliza Shlesinger here at Pepper Bellies in Fairfield.
Beautiful Fairfield.
How about that? Last comic standing. First woman winner and youngest winner of Last Comic Standing.
I believe so.
The big prize, and how's that? Have you parlayed that into?
You know what's so funny? I was talking about that with someone the other day because right after I won, I got all these questions like, "What'd you do with the money?" Because people want you to be like, "I bought a Ferrari," even though it would be like the shittiest Ferrari ever for like $2,000. I spent like a little bit of money on clothes. But I think the luxury of being a working comic and having money in the bank is that you can go off for a weekend with your friends, or you can buy an expensive outfit if you want. And it's not about always living extravagantly. It's like about the little perks. I can buy flavored coffee every morning.
So now, what's your motivation to work? I mean,
now that I've made my millions, my fortune. I think for any comic, it comes from within. It's this drive to, I don't know, to make people laugh. And to get better and better at it and do it in bigger platforms and better venues. And every time I accomplish one thing, you know, you get one showcase, you get a TV show, you get whatever you get, you're like, great, next. Like, it's almost this insatiable, unquenchable hunger that will probably kill me.
Every comic that so far that I've interviewed tells me that they knew from an early age that they wanted to do this. They needed to be in front of people.
Yeah. You're a performer, you're an extrovert, like, you're one of these people from day one. And even in school, like, you're always, I mean, I know I was, and most comics can attest to this, you're the class clown, and my objective in any group is to always get laughs. Being an X-Men, it chooses you. No choice. People
ask you about the woman factor, the girl factor, of being in the, not only being in the industry, but winning the contest, and you've said that funny is funny, and that you wanted to be judged on your own merit.
It's such an amazing stepping stone that I think a lot of girls don't realize it. I've said this before, and I will continue to say this. So many girls are like, oh, people won't give me a chance because I'm a girl. Initially, it's going to be a little harder for you because there are so fewer women doing stand-up. So when some aren't funny, it makes the rest of us look bad. Like any stereotype about any minority. But if you are funny, you shine that much brighter. So being a girl helps, and for girls to view it any other way, you're being ignorant. Funny is funny. People will give you a hard time at first. I've had people say mean things to me, but at the end of the day, I've also had people come up to me after the show and, you know, be amazed or congratulate me or want to be your friend. If you're funny, people will like you and they'll respect you. It's when you suck and you're constantly in our faces that we don't like. It wouldn't be natural. I'm not going to get on stage and simulate a blowjob because that's disgusting, but I am going to talk about, on occasion, because there are things about that are funny that don't have to do with sex. But to not talk about your experiences in life, like I'm a 27-year-old girl, I've had sex, I've had boyfriends, I've had relationships. It's okay to talk about that stuff. I think it's when you get hacky that people tend to have a problem with it.
Let's talk about your weekly chat show.
Well, it's not on anymore, but we can talk about it.
I didn't know that. I'm sorry.
I can tell you what happened. It's called The Weekly News, right. WEAKLY News on thestream.tv. It's a weekly show, and I really wanted to do a show where it wasn't just another girl being mean about celebrities and gossiping. Right. I wanted to talk about the news. I'm not forcing a political agenda, but I just wanted to get a dialogue going with our fans about something other than Kim Kardashian. Like, give me a break. Okay. And so while it's not the most... First of all, if you're watching my news show for your news, you're an idiot.
What you're doing is something like Kevin Pollak is doing with his chat show, and Paul Provenza is doing with The Green Room.
Yeah.
You're not only doing news, but you're bringing other comics in and
did having... for a while, and then I realized I don't like having guests, so we stopped. It's annoying, and I never did it right. I should have had him on for like a minute, but I have him just sit there and like throw to them, and it's always weird, so no more guests.
Okay. So tell me about your dog.
Where's she?
She's right here.
My dog Blanche. And sometimes I pretend that I had her, which is gross. This is Blanche, and I adopted her from like an adoption agency. So she's a rescue dog, and she's part Chihuahua, part long-haired dachshund, part princess. And I initially got her about 8 months ago because I was traveling so much. I did like 70 colleges last fall, and I was doing clubs nonstop, and I was like, I'm kind of lonely. Like, I don't have a boyfriend, my friends aren't with me, you can only call your mom during like living hours because they go to bed at like 5 in the afternoon. So I was like, I'm gonna get a dog. And I got this Angel, and she doesn't really bark, and she travels well, and she has a floppy vagina, which we're not showing you right now. She's a lady, but she's just the best. She just hangs out, and she loves people, and I made her part of the act a couple months ago.
Let's talk about your Comedy Central half-hour show. Okay. What was that?
It was so fun, because you get to go to New York, and they don't let you design your own set. I think that's only for the hour special now, but you get to go, and I remember I did like special workout classes. I tried to do it for the whole month, but I only made it for a week. But I think it was good enough. And you get to go, and it's your chance to really, like on Last Comic, you get to do material, but it's only for 6 minutes at a time, 4 minutes at a time. This is your chance to like really get out there and shine. And then they cut it down and edit the crap out of it. But I think it turned out well, and I looked tan, so I think that's the most important. It was a great experience, and they only give out a couple of them a year. And I think that year they picked a lot of good comics.
Yeah, very, very, very much.
Next stop, our special.
How many weeks do you tour a year, approximately?
Somebody asked me that the other day. A lot. Like, I don't want to say, like, there are times where I'll specifically take myself off the road, like for pilot season, because you need to be in LA.
Right.
Good chunk of the year, especially in the fall. You know, it's just, you say a week for comedy is Thursday night through Sunday night.
Right.
I don't know, a decent amount to where I've missed every friend's wedding, baby shower, birthday party, epic events in friends' lives because I'm on the road. I'm like that parent that like from that Cats in the Cradle song. Like, I'm never there, and then when I need them, they'll be gone. It's okay though. I think a lot of comics, and since day one, I've always been a fan of Adam Sandler. He started out with stand-up, and he was in movies, and then he started making the kind of movies he wanted to do with Happy Madison, and he always gets to play the good guy, and they're heartfelt movies, and he's always lovable. I mean, that's a pretty, and he's cool. Any interview, like, he's like a down-to-earth guy. I met him once, I almost cried, I had to leave. It was so embarrassing. There are women out there like Paula Poundstone and Ellen who I think are brilliant, and what I always loved about Ellen, she was the first stand-up show I ever saw. My dad took me to see her when I was in high school. I wasn't old enough to go to the Improv. So my dad took me at the theater. I lived in Dallas, and he took me to see her. Her comedy is about life. It's about little things. It's not, she doesn't cater to sexuality. She's not, it's just, it could be for a guy or a girl, and she's so brilliant, and it's just, and she has her own talk show. I would love my own talk show. So I guess I pick Ellen.
How has social media impacted your career?
I think Facebook, talking about like things like that, Facebook and Twitter are an amazing tool. Look at MySpace. Like, that's what gave Dane Cook, like, his...
Yep. That's his claim to fame.
Yeah, and good for him. And Facebook and Twitter, these things are great because not only as a networking tool, not only can you say, hey, I'm in your area, because most people, even if they're your fam, they don't know. I have people all the time, like, I will get I guarantee you, I will get texts on Monday, like, hey, when are you coming to Fairfield? I'm like, you should check your Twitter. Because I've been complaining about the city since I got. You get to put it out there, and you can let that many more people know. And with the best part I like, especially as a comic, you have an opinion about everything, and you're angry most of the time. I'm frustrated all the time, and what I love about Twitter, I'm sitting at LAX 4 in the morning, and I'm mad because some woman like won't get out of my face. I can Twitter that, and it's an.
You're an angry Twitterer. I've noticed.
Yeah, I get frustrated, and I think I do some angry Twitters. But they're always funny, so I think that's the saving grace.
You also go overseas, work with the troops?
Yes. I've been to Singapore, Diego Garcia, Guam, El Salvador, might be one other one in there. And those aren't exactly like hot zones of terrorist activity, but the kids over there, they're 17 years old, 18, you know, and they're over there fighting, so I have the right to act like a jackass on Twitter. I got invited to go to, I want to say Afghanistan, or maybe it was Iraq, maybe 2 years ago, and I told my mom, and she was a typical Jewish mother. She was like, you're not going. You're going to lose a hand. Like, why would I lose a hand? Why is that? Who's the last comic you heard of that got hurt? No one. I'm not an errand girl. They're not sending me to, like, get eggs in the village. You're going to lose your hand. What is that? So I didn't go. I have both hands.
Do you have any goals that, other than you mentioned that you want to do a talk show?
Love to have a talk show.
Do you have some stuff going on? Is that in the works?
I have a book that we're finishing up the proposal for, kind of talking about all the things that are wrong in our society and how you can pinpoint them, and it has to do with clothing, what you say, what you do, what you wear, all the things that people do wrong. That's what the book's about.
Okay, I think we're done.
Hi, this is Iliza Shlesinger, and you are watching AmericasComedy.com on the internet.